Hello, welcome to part 2 of my mini course entitled How to Make Your Next Short Film Stand Out from the Crowd. In part 1, if you haven't seen that, I covered script analysis and revision. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. Obviously, we don't go deep into how to do all these things because it is a deep subject and it takes a lot of time. However, later in this video, I will share an idea I've got where we can go deeper into the subject. I just wanted to give you food for thought in this mini course before you go and shoot your next film. So that's whether you're an amateur or a newbie just starting out and wanting to get your film into a festival, or whether you're a third-year student and in your final year and getting ready for your next, your graduation piece, I guess is what you'd call it. I didn't do a degree, I did a master's. If you want to know more about me, I think I mentioned it in that one, my experiences, but briefly, my experience in life so far, 13 years psychotherapist, and as far as performing arts goes, I've got more experience as an actor than a director, but I did my master's focusing on directing. So let's get into what we're going to be covering today. Part 2 is breaking the script down. Scheduling, storyboards, shot lists. In part 1, as I say, we looked at analysing the script for the beats and revising it, tightening the script, because the script is the most important thing. That's what my mentor kept hammering into my head, and there was a few other things that, I just took me 2 years doing my master's because I was doing it part-time, and there's a few lessons that it took him a long time to get into this thick skull of mine, but eventually I learned what he was trying to get at, and script, analysing it and revising it is key. And that's what's going to make your film stand out, not the beautiful shots, because I would imagine that if you're doing a degree, that's what you've been doing for 3 years, is making sure your shots are beautiful, that they match the rules of thirds and all that stuff. Lighting. I'm not very good at the tech stuff, as you can probably tell in here. My light is not perfect. It's a very small room. I've got red heads and all sorts, but I can't set anything up in here. I've got natural light coming from here and a LED light over there, and I've even got daylight bulbs above, just to try and make this picture look a bit clearer. But I'm no expert on lighting. You're probably far better at it than me. I know you'll be far better at it than me. As I say, my focus is directing, the creative side of it. But as a director, there is all the paperwork and the scheduling. If you're lucky, the first AD will be doing some of it for you, but at this stage, you're probably going to be doing it yourself. So let's look at scheduling. Once you've got your script, you've got to break it down, and scheduling it is so that you minimize the number of camera setups, obviously. The less camera setups you do, the more time you'll have to work with the actors and get the shots, get your coverage, shoot for the edit. When you're scheduling, don't just, I'll talk about that in a minute when we look at storyboards and shot lists. But scheduling, let's look at that to start with. Where am I going with that? No, brain's gone. Yes. If you're you've got some exterior shots to be doing and you've got interiors, which do you do first? What do you think? What are you going to do? Would you do exteriors first, or would you do your interiors first? I would suggest you do your exteriors first. I mean, sometimes it may be down to timings of when you've got the locations, but if you're going to be doing any outdoor filming and the weather changes, the weather gods come and ruin it for you, that's that day written off. Now, if you've got some interior shoots to do, then you can go and do them instead. I want to give an example of a short film I worked on in the last couple of years, because I don't want to make it obvious which one it was, but we've got 3 days of filming to do. I was on this as an actor now. And you've got 1 day exterior filming to be done, I think it was, and 2 days interior. We got the first day done. And then, I can't remember now. But let's just get back down to the last 2 days anyway. There was an exterior and an interior day to be shot. Now, on the first of these 2 days, it was pissing it down. And the director decided that he wanted to go and do the exteriors that day, even though it's not in the script that it needs to be raining. So we're sat at the location that the interior is going to be shot. It's pissing it down. The crew are like, oh, I don't know, do we really want to go out there? Me as an actor, I'm like, well, I've done worse things, but I'd rather stay in this nice, warm, dry area if I can. And so the actress that was working with me, I'm sure, felt the same. But no, the director thinks he's filming The Revenant and must like march up a hill and find the perfect location for his shot. So what happened on that shoot? We were delayed filming by about 4 hours, I think it was. I won't tell you about everything else that went wrong before we got to go and film it, but me and the camera, which was an Arri Alexa, in a cloth bag, and the other actress had to climb up this steep hill. It's not peeing it down by this point, but it's wet. There's rocks that are slippy. The actress hasn't got decent footwear on. I always wear boots wherever I go. So my feet were fine, but one of them did have a hole in it, so my feet did get wet. We get up, morale's obviously deteriorating as we're doing this, because who wants to be wet unless they have to? We get up there, we get the shots. I think it probably shows in the performance of both myself and the actress, that we weren't overly keen on being up there. You've got an Arri Alexa also being carried up there in a cloth bag, and you're getting rain on the lens, so not ideal shots either. But managed to pull it off, and them shots ended up in the film. But the point is, he could have waited till the next day when it was sunny and gone up there, and everybody would have been happy, and he'd have still got the shots. But instead, no, made the decision he wanted to do that. That's just not good scheduling. Because think on this: if either me, the actress, or the camera had slipped and got broken on the way up that hill, that's his film done. I was the lead in it, so I break my leg, that's his film finished. So think of that when you're scheduling. And you should be trying not to do adventurous shots when you're a newbie anyway. I'm guilty of it, so I can't really talk on that. But if you can make your film in one location, it's going to work better for you. Hello, Sean. Just sit. There is a pop-up, tells me who's joining the call. Thanks for joining me. So when you're scheduling, think these things through. If you damage your camera or your equipment or the talent, that's it. Your film's over. So really think on that when you're scheduling. The other thing when you're breaking down the script for scheduling, you know what you need and when you need it. There's nothing worse for an actor, if they're not being paid as well, to be sitting around all day waiting to get in front of the camera. Yes, there's a lot of waiting around. That always happens for actors. But I've been in productions before where there's been an actor there from about 7 o'clock in the morning and didn't get in front of the camera till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And he hadn't brought a book or anything like that. So he's just sat there. Now, if you were paying that actor, that's your budget disappearing. You're getting this actor on for goodwill. And if you just, sit there, they're just sat there doing nothing while you're setting up your shots, they're probably not going to come and work for you again. So think about your scheduling. Do you need that actor all day, or can you just use them for the afternoon? That's something you need to be doing when you're breaking down your script. What things will you need? For example, equipment. If you're going to be going up a hill like we were in that film I was talking about a minute ago, make sure you've got a blimp for your mic, not just a dead cat. The end of that short film that was shot never made it into the film. Why? Because there was not good sound. And sound is very important. It's almost as important as the script. Well, in the final product, it is more important than the script, because the edit will probably change things from your original script, if you give them the power to do so. And that's another thing when you're scheduling. You are not Hitchcock yet. You may be one day. So don't just get the shots that you think you need. Shoot extra shots. If you've got the actor coming in from this side up, because I don't know what's right and left to you at the minute, does it affect the scene if they come in from this side instead? Don't just say you're going to get a medium shot, your close-ups and your wides. Do something else. Make sure that when you come to edit your film, there's lots of options for the editor. You know, lots of it can get thrown away. It's not like we're shooting on film and it costs money. If you've got that camera set up, get as many shots as you can within the time. So I think that's all I wanted to cover on breaking down the script. Well, for the scheduling anyway. Shot lists and storyboards. At the start of your filmmaking career, I highly recommend you do both. I've done, when I was doing my masters, I did one film where I did just shot lists, which was my film Parahysteria. I don't think I did any storyboards for that. And then my last film, The Terrible Old Man, I did storyboards. Yeah, that was it. Mostly storyboards and a very quick shot list just on the day, really. Because the DP wanted them a bit more. But I wanted in my master's module to communicate what I wanted through the storyboards. But the reason to use both is not just because you're starting out. It's because people respond to different mediums. If you give somebody a shot list who's never seen a shot list before, like some actors went to see shot lists, and you just give them shot one is a close-up of actor one. Shot two is a two-shot. And all this, they may or may not understand it all. But it's hard for them to see that when they're performing. Whereas you bring out your storyboard showing pictures of what you want, they go, now I see what you're getting at. I mean, we're going to be talking more about working with their actors in part 3, which will be on Monday. Shot list storyboards, yes, I use both. What else I wanted to cover, because I don't want to keep you here too long, because this is just a mini course giving you food for thought on what you need to do. Not going into the how to at this point. As I say, I'm thinking of setting up a group for passionate filmmakers that are interested in filmmaking rather than the politics and all the nonsense that's going on in Hollywood. And I'm not trying to belittle anything as in the abuse that's going on. I'm just on about the bland, boring stories and how everyone's turning on each other. I'd rather concentrate on good stories myself, and I'd like to work with passionate filmmakers and help passionate filmmakers. So I'm thinking of setting up a secret group where I would go deeper into subjects like this, but not just me. I'll get in some guest speakers because I do have a few connections, and I will also badger people if it takes off. This is something I'm not sure if I'm going to do yet, but if it was something you're interested in, please leave a comment below saying, yeah, I'm interested in joining a secret group for passionate filmmakers who are more interested in making good films with good stories and not bothered about other nonsense. I hope this will be open to people of all sexes, all races, because filmmakers, I think in the 21st century, those that are coming through now, all that stuff's irrelevant. We don't care what sex you are, where you want, how you get your sexual kicks, as long as it's legal. What colour is skin? We're not bothered about any of that, are we? We want to make good films. So I want to set up a group where we talk about filmmaking rather than politics. If that's something you'd be interested in, as I say, message below. There's no point in me setting it up if nobody's interested in that kind of thing. Let me just have a look at the notes. Is there anything else I wanted to cover for today? I think that's it. As I say, in part 1, I went on about how important it was for you to revise your script and tighten it. Analyze it. Know exactly what emotions you want from each scene. What objectives the actors are going to have to portray that story. How do you want the audience to feel? And then today we've covered breaking down the script for scheduling and using storyboards and shot lists. So on Monday, it's the 12th, I think. Yes, Monday the 12th, same time, same place, I'll be talking about working with your actors. How to get on their good side, I should say, casting them and directing them on the shoot. And then on Wednesday, I'll be going into the part 4 where we'll look at making your shoot run as smoothly as possible. So thanks for joining me. If you joined me live, if this was of any use, please give me a thumbs up or a smile. Leave me a comment of what you thought about it. And you can do that if you watch it on a replay. I'm going to go now and hopefully see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye.